discuss some. There are a few more participants trying to join in. Okay, till others join in, we'll try to discuss your use cases about like how to build your career in Azure DevOps, like what cities you are currently in, and how can you get a hike. If you are in like 10 LPA CTC, how can you get to the next level of 15, 20? If you're already at 20, 25, how can you get to the next level? That is what we discuss. So Matro, you, as you said, so you are having like how many years of experience?
4 years of experience.
Okay, you have 4 years of experience as a system admin. Is it like L1, L2, L3? What is it like?
L1, mostly L1 kind of works.
L1. You are getting 8 lakh, is it?
Yes.
You are getting 8 lakh. So from now, okay, I can tell you right from here, 8 lakh, you can bare minimum aim for a CTC in the range of 13 to 18 lakhs. Okay.
Okay.
This is possible. You can get to this level. So now how can you get from here to like 13 to 18? Okay. Only and only it's possible. You have to show at least 2 to 3 years of experience in this line of Azure DevOps.
Okay.
How will you show 2 to 3 years of experience? To show this, you have to, okay, work on advanced projects like building a CI/CD pipeline. Okay. Automatic CI/CD pipeline by using like PowerShell scripting, YAML, working on services like DevOps services and tools like Azure Kubernetes services. Okay, plus working on Docker, working on Terraform. A lot of things are working on Git, all of these things. Okay, and along with this, you will also have to clear one global certification, that is AZ400. This is Microsoft Certified DevOps Engineer, right? So once you clear this, okay, once you work on these projects and okay, you show this, you clear this certification, you can easily show 2 to 3 years of experience on your resume.
Got it.
Okay. So when you show 2 to 3 years of experience, let me show that how will your sample resume look like. For example, if this is your resume, your resume will be having multiple pages. Page number 1. This is how your page number 1 should look like. So you have like how many? It's 8 years of experience right now you have got, right? Out of 8 years of experience, till the time you complete this training, it will be approximately 3-4 months more, right? You can tell out of this 8 years, okay, you can show recent 2 years or 3 years, okay, or even maybe if you are completely new, also you can even show 1 year also, okay, minimum 1 year or 2 years or 3 years you have to show in this line of Azure DevOps, okay. Here, when you say 2 years of experience, you can show that you can tell right now you're working as a system engineer. You can tell right now in your organization. Can you tell me which company you're working on?
Oracle.
Oracle. So Oracle is a big company, correct?
Right.
Oracle, okay, has something called as every company will be having something called as an IJP. What do you mean by IJP? Internal job posting, correct?
Yes, yes.
So you can tell in Oracle there was an internal requirement, okay, for Azure DevOps, okay, 2 years back, where I attended the interview and cleared that from last 2 years with the help of IJP, I am working on Azure DevOps. Then they will ask you what projects have you worked on. This is where you will be mentioned. You have worked on, you have built and automated CI/CD pipeline based projects, right? So you have worked on services like Azure Kubernetes services plus Docker. You have worked on containerization, right? You have worked on Azure Terraform. Okay. You have worked on like Git related services, right? You have worked on security related services. You have worked on infrastructure related services. All of these projects you will be adding on your resume. That you will also mention that you are AZ400 certified. What is AZ400? Microsoft Certified DevOps Engineer. In this training, we will help you in clearing 4 certifications. As you can see, AZ900, AZ104, AZ400, AZ305. 900 and 104 is it's not optional. If you want, you can do. If not, you can leave. Not a problem. But because you are applying for a DevOps engineer job role, correct? Whenever you are applying for a DevOps engineer job role, you have to show you need to have some expert level certifications, correct? So that is the reason this is mandate. What certification is it? This is a certification by Microsoft. It is called as Microsoft Certified DevOps Engineer. That means you are well versed, you are certified by Microsoft that you can design and implement the DevOps process by using Azure DevOps. Right? When you have all of the skills, okay, Madhur, just tell me like how confident you will feel. confident to clear interviews? Right. First of all, when you have all of this thing, I can tell you bare minimum you will get around like 10 to 15 interview calls per month. Right. The demand is so much high, right, in Azure. Okay. Then 10 to 15 the bare minimum you will get. Why? Because right now Microsoft is the richest company, number one richest company on the planet. Second richest company is Apple. Right. There are new services that are getting added every 3 weeks. Right. When you ask such, because this is something like, because you are hearing about Bill Gates since you were a child, correct?
Right.
The Microsoft is, because right now whatever the 99% of the laptops what we use in India are all like Microsoft software OS built, correct?
Correct.
This is not something, right, you learn something and after like 3 months some other technology comes. This is not like some baby kind of technology. This is one of the robust technological stack which is controlling, which is used by 95% of the Fortune 500 companies in the globe. Right. So this is how, this is the blueprint of what you need to use. Okay. Got the clarity? Okay. If you have any kind of follow-up questions, you can ask. Okay. Meanwhile, others who joined right now, okay, maybe there, as you can see, there are 19 of you. There are a few more participants trying to join in. Just introduce yourself in the chat box, like what kind of background you have, what kind of experience you have. Just introduce yourself in the chat box. Like how many years of experience and to what background. In short, at the end of the day, everybody is here for same thing. Everybody want a better job, better salary, better company. Okay, with respect to in this role of DevOps engineer. Okay, so in short, so anybody, this, whether you are working in IT, okay, and you want to switch to a better hike in DevOps, yes, you can do that. Whether you are working in non-IT, you want to switch into IT, yes, for you also it's possible. Why is it even for non-IT candidates it's possible? Because there is no coding involved here. What do you mean by no coding? We don't need coding here. We need only scripting. Okay. So what is the difference between coding and scripting? Coding is something like .NET, Python, or like Java. All of these are coding programming language where you have to write end to end from the morning till evening, from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock till the time your job is over. You have to only do writing the code and debugging. Scripting is something like you are only using for specific tasks, like automating the task. Okay, scripting that is the only for specific purposes you will be using it. What are the major scripting languages you may need? Okay, one is PowerShell scripting. Okay, second one is YAML scripting, and sometime we'll be using Python scripting. Simple. Even if you do not know this, do not worry, we will help you out in learning this. Along with this, what else do you need for this to master DevOps? You cannot enter into DevOps without the knowledge of Linux. Can anybody tell why is Linux so important for DevOps? Why is Linux so important for DevOps? Can anybody unmute yourself and tell?
Because we can use the Linux operating system for the.
Your voice is not audible. Whoever is trying to speak, okay, be in a clear space. Maybe check your audio and check your internet speed, and then unmute yourself and talk. Okay. So why do we need Linux? Why are we not using Windows?
Every server runs on Linux system in every company. So, and also the Argos are the scripts are designed in Linux. That's why we need Linux. Correct?
Every company is using Linux. That is what we are asking. Why is every company using Linux? Why not Windows?
Actually, Linux is more secure. It
More secure and
encryption.
Correct. So
open source.
Right now, okay, you answered. The main answer is Linux offers more security. Right? There are multiple advantages of Linux. The number one reason is for security. Okay, and if you know Linux, well and good. Even if you do not know Linux, we'll be covering all of this Linux classes from the very scratch. Like what is like open source, what is closed source, when do we use Windows? Okay, why should we use Linux? Okay, how is Linux connected to DevOps? Okay, where are we? Everything will be taking the special classes on this Linux as well as the scripting. So in short, before getting started with this, we need two things. One is Linux as an OS for this DevOps. Second thing is scripting. Okay, in scripting, PowerShell and YAML. That's it. Sometimes even Python. These are the prerequisites. Okay, previously, these are something we were asking the participants to learn by yourself and come. So, but from now on, we'll be even covering in this practically, okay, in the programs. Where for those who know it, well and good. If you do not know, we'll help you out in like learning even Linux and PowerShell. Okay, so now the second most important questions. Why are we not focusing on AWS? Why are we focusing on Azure? Anybody has any answer? Right now, why are we focusing on Azure completely? Why not AWS? Practical answer. Anybody?
Azure is widely using
Mhm.
of the world.
Yeah, see, even AWS is widely used.
Cost effective.
Cost effective. Yes, maybe in some services, AWS is also cost effective.
It is more reliable.
See, whatever you guys are telling, it's there. The number one answer why we are focusing on Azure right now
User
is,
friendly.
okay, right now getting job in Azure is far easier when compared to AWS. Simple.
Because it is a product of Microsoft, and mostly when we are
That's
into
there. See, there are like hundreds of reasons why advantages and everything. The main number one reason why are we focusing on Azure? Because job opportunities are really good right now. Okay, and you guys can show 1 or 2 or 3 years of experience and easily you can get a job in Azure. What kind of a jobs you can get? Okay, after completing this Azure Fundamental and Admin, you can apply for Cloud Engineer job role. Okay, Cloud Infrastructure Engineer job role. After completing this level 4, you can apply for DevOps Engineer job role, Automation Engineer job role, CI/CD Special Engineer job role. Lot of job roles are there by just showing 1, 2, 3 years of experience. But if you want to get in AWS DevOps, just go to Google and search for AWS DevOps jobs. Minimum you need 5 to 6 years of experience in AWS DevOps. Only then you'll be able to get a job. Even if you get an interview call, it's really difficult to clear interviews because this is one of the oldest cloud platform which started in the year 2018. Which started in the year 2018. Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes. Now you are audible.
You can apply for this kind of job. This is the main reason. Okay, because the main reason is simple. We are focusing on Azure right now because job opportunities are really good, and Microsoft is number one company right now, and opportunities are really good. See, and one more thing, lot of institutes, what they do is that they offer multi-cloud kind of thing. They will say that okay, we'll be teaching you Azure also, we'll be teaching AWS also, we'll be teaching you GCP also. Okay, this is very terrible approach to plan your career. Why? Because instead of learning 20% of AWS, 20% of Azure, 20% of GCP, this will be like jack of all trades, master of none. You're not going deep in any cloud, but you're just touching the surface of all the clouds. So that is not the right approach. You will not be able to, because when you attend interviews, you will be asked scenario-based questions, deep level scenario-based questions. Okay, so this is not the right approach. Instead of going this way, instead of becoming a jack of all trades, master of none, so what we will do is we'll focus on Azure and become 100% perfect in Azure. Okay, first we'll be mastering Azure Fundamentals and Azure Administration. You will be very well versed with all the services. There are more than 300 to 400 services in Azure. You will be learning about all the services. What are the services used for? Okay, in first level, you'll be learning theory. In the second level, you'll be doing practical labs. You'll be working on more than 50 plus labs. Okay, how to work on Active Directory, how to create an account, how to create an organization, how to do the resource management, everything here. Okay, so after this, you can apply for Cloud Engineer job. After then, we'll be coming to level 3 and level 4. Okay, and this is where, before this, we'll be covering Linux and PowerShell scripting and all the scripting part, and then you'll be working. This is where you'll be working on projects like building CI/CD pipeline. Okay, working on Azure Kubernetes services, working on Docker, working on Git, working on Terraform. Lot of things are there, and then finally we'll be getting the solution architect. Why is solution architect so important right now in 2025? because of competition. For example, if you take a company like Mindtree has 100 requirements, there will be more than like 5,000 candidates who will be applying for this job. How will you differentiate that you are better than this 5,000 people? Okay, because a lot of them have like skills of Azure DevOps. How will you differentiate that you are better? Only when you have little bit advanced skills. That is where we are focusing on Azure Solution Architect. In this Solution Architect, we will be learning two things: designing the solutions and implementing the cloud solutions. Designing and implementing the cloud solutions. This is really important. Even though you will not be working as a cloud architect, you'll be not applying for a like solution architect job immediately, but this skill will help you in clearing good number of interview calls. Got the clarity? So this is how the blueprint will be. What is the durations of it? Fundamental and admin will take around like 1.5 to 2 months. DevOps and Terraform around like 2.5 months, and solution architect approximately 2 to 2.5 months. Okay. So approximately everything put together, it will take around like 5 to 6 months. So on an average, if you start now, I can tell you, right, you can attend the interviews, okay, from the month of June. Okay, this is a perfect time to get started, because after June, July, after August, okay, the job opportunities will reduce. Because why? Can anybody tell me like why is that every year after August, why is that job opportunities in IT reduces?
Because the financial year ends.
Correct. That is there. The main reason is 90% of the projects in India, where are they from? They are from USA, correct?
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Year end, what happens, right? Most of the projects in USA goes in hibernating mode because of that enters into like Christmas, okay, New Year and all. They do not focus much on like expansion during that. Okay, the aggressive expansion happens in the first half. That is the reason there is a right fit. Any year, not only this year, any year you take, first 6 months, first 6 to 7 months. Okay, this is really critical for you. If you are looking for a switch, you need to plan for this. Not now, even after 5 years also, if you are planning for the switch, you should follow the same formula. Okay, this is how the IT industry works. Okay, so now you got the clue about how this skills are. So now we'll go and what are the kind of job roles you'll be applying for in Azure DevOps. These are the job roles. If you want, you can take a screenshot. These are like Azure DevOps Engineer, okay, CI/CD Specialist, Release Manager, okay, Cloud DevOps Consultant, Automation Engineer, Cloud Infrastructure Engineer, Continuous Integration Specialist, Site Reliability Engineer, and DevOps Architect. Okay, these are the different kinds of job role you'll be eligible to apply. So now most of them will have one doubt. Okay, there are 3 kinds of job roles in this with you can apply for with this with help of programs. One is Cloud Engineer. Cloud Engineer. Okay. Second one is DevOps Engineer. Okay. Third one is SRE. Can anybody tell me what is the difference between Cloud Engineer, DevOps Engineer, and an SRE? Anybody? What does the Cloud Engineer do? What does the DevOps Engineer do? What does the SRE do? Any of you can unmute yourself and answer. Anybody?
No, I don't have any.
Okay, fine. Let's talk about this. Okay. Pay close attention because this is like you need to know the difference between different roles in cloud. Cloud engineer are those who are working on infrastructure related services. Okay. What do you mean by infrastructure related services? That means cloud engineer is the guy who is, okay, you will become a cloud engineer once you finish this. After level 1 and level 2, you are not working on any kind of DevOps, only working on different services in cloud. Okay, there are 300 to 400 services. Will be mastering your top services. You will be working on the services. How to manage the access management with the help of Active Directory, Azure Active Directory, how to work on ARM templates, how to work on infrastructure as a code. All of this thing you will be doing as a cloud engineer. Okay, so this is first level of job role in cloud. Second level of job role is DevOps engineer. DevOps engineer in the sense you are building CI/CD pipeline, okay, automatic, you are working on different tools. DevOps engineer will also be doing the job of this cloud engineer, plus You'll also be doing, okay, working on building and automating CI/CD pipeline, building the complete process of working with different tools, okay, and building and automating a CI/CD pipeline. All of these things you'll be doing as a DevOps engineer. So now, what is the SRE engineer? SRE engineer does the job of cloud engineer, plus he also does the job of DevOps engineer. Only that, okay, SRE is also DevOps engineer, but he manages, SRE guy manages large scale servers or large scale applications. Large scale server or large scale application. He will be having more responsibility, and his CTC will also be higher. Normally, a SRE guy, a bare minimum bare minimum starting CTC itself is 40 lakh plus. Okay, so this is how, like, normally if you go to companies like Zomato and all, bare minimum CTCs of this is around like beyond like 80 lakh, 90 lakh, 1 CR plus, because the responsibilities are too much higher. Okay, so that is the bare. So if you guys are not like, first you guys can aim for this first level, gain some experience, and later on, once you have really good experience, then you can aim to become an SRE. Okay, I hope you guys got a clarity. If anybody has any kind of doubts or questions on this, you can put across. Okay, that is how it goes. So now we'll enter into this world of Azure. So maybe, right, I just want you guys to write in the chat box how many of you have worked on Azure portal. Okay, or worked on work. If you have worked, just type in worked, or if you are completely new, type in new in the chat box, so that I know that how what kind of understanding you have about Azure portal. Okay, type in new if you are completely new, or if you have worked, just worked on, type in as worked. Okay, so I can see there are different participants. Gunachandra, you have, let me take the introductions, whatever you guys have written in the chat box. Gunachandra, you have worked as an IT support engineer, service desk engineer for 4 years of experience. Fine. The only thing is that, Gunachandra, when you're applying for a switch, out of this 4 years, last 1 to 2 years, you will be showing the experience in this line of DevOps. You can apply for cloud engineer job role as well as DevOps engineer job roles. So Ashwini Patel, 11 years of experience in .NET. Okay, as you already have experience in .NET, it will be very easy for you to get into DevOps, Ashwini. Okay, great. Sometimes there are like, you can even be apply for platform engineer job roles along with DevOps engineer. Okay, we'll guide you like how you can become a platform engineer along with the DevOps engineer also. Okay, and Suraj Pal, you are working as a L2 level support. Okay, with 1.5 years of experience, and you are getting CTC of 4 lakhs. So Suraj, you can aim for a CTC of 8 to 12 lakh. Okay, so maybe till the time you can show at least 1 year of experience. You are already working on support, right? You can show around like 1.5 years of experience in DevOps, and you can apply. So Gunachandra, switch my career, Azure DevOps, please explain. Okay, I think like Gunachandra, I hope you got the clarity. Okay, so my name is Bill Govin. I have 7.7 years of experience in sales from a non-IT background. Okay, yes, for non-IT guys also you can get into it. Okay, good part about this is that you don't have to worry about coding and all, because you are working with modern DevOps. This is cloud DevOps. And before 5 years back, okay, non-IT guys were not able to get into DevOps because coding is a most mandate, because you were working on open source tools. Now it's like completely you are working on cloud DevOps. You don't need any kind of coding. You need only basics, and you have got a lot of like AI tools like ChatGPT and all. Even if you need not have to like, if you have the logic how to write the script and all, you will get it with the help of AI tools. Right? Will even help you out in how to use AI tools to deliver more results also. Okay, so Balwant Singh, you're working as a desktop engineer, 6 years of experience. Fine, I can see that most of you guys are here who have like texted. You guys are working in support related jobs. I think that for you guys, getting into DevOps makes more sense. Okay, you can easily project 2 to 3 years of experience and get into. And Sudhakar, IT support specialist, again support L1, 3.5 years of experience. Sudhakar, again you can show 1.5, 2 years of experience. So yeah, got it. So most of you, okay. So Gunachandra, could you please tell what are the roles I can apply for if I finish 100? So Gunachandra, you have to take all the levels, but after completing like AZ 900 and AZ 104, you can apply for cloud engineer job role. Okay, it is also called Cloud Infrastructure Engineer. We'll be giving you a complete document. Do not worry about that. What to apply. It will have a complete rule book. Okay, who should apply, what to apply. Okay, complete rule book will give you like once you get started, right? We'll have a, you will. The formula is very much ready because this is you guys are not the first batch. Okay, we are running the batches from 2016. There are hundreds and thousands of candidates have already working on like this line of Azure DevOps. Only thing is that whatever has formula has worked for hundreds and thousands of people, okay, we'll give you the same formula. You just need to follow that. Only thing is that we'll be giving the formula, but hard work will be from your side. Okay, what to effort, what practical need to be done, what need to be practiced. The smartness should be come from your side. What needs to be put on the smartness, ready-made formula will be given. So what to learn, what to focus on Linux, because Linux, you don't need complete 100% of Linux because you're not applying for Linux admin job. You will be applying for what kind of a job you'll be applying for? You'll be applying for cloud engineer and cloud DevOps engineer job. For that, whatever Linux is needed, that much is more than sufficient. Okay, fine. So now, as you guys maybe right have, I hope you got the clarity so far. If anybody has any kind of questions, any moment of time, just put in the chat box. Okay, as I took the questions right now, similarly, we'll be taking the questions in equal intervals so that right, none of your questions, okay, will be every questions will be answered and everybody will get 100% clarity. So this is how the Azure portal will look like. Okay, this is how the Azure portal will look like. Okay, so there are like, can anybody tell me how many services do we have in Microsoft Azure? How many services does Azure offer? I have already told you this just like 10 minutes back.
Yes,
How many services
300
does?
to 400.
4 to 500.
Correct. 300 to 400 services is offered. By the way, can anybody quickly tell me what do you mean by cloud computing in a very simple language? What is cloud computing? Why is it all the companies are shifting? Almost everything in IT industry is shifting towards cloud computing. Why?
Because you can access the data from any center. Like you can have
Correct.
the cloud as a data center and you can access it from multiple locations.
That is, yeah, you are, as you said, you are right. The main reason is, number one reason is cost, right? Okay, cost, maybe right, it is reducing the cost significantly for all the companies. Okay, this is the main reason we are using cloud computing. Okay, so what do you mean by cloud computing? Cloud computing is all about renting. Renting of what? Renting.
Storage? Cloud storage?
Not only storage, renting of IT services.
Okay.
Within this IT services, there are like hundreds of services, right? Okay, renting of IT services. How? Over the internet, correct? Okay, and okay, with the payment model, which is called as by paying only for what you use, pay as you go. Renting of IT services over the internet is called cloud computing. Who is renting out the IT services? Can anybody tell who is renting out the services? This is rented out by big companies like AWS,
Microsoft,
Azure, Microsoft, GCP, Oracle Cloud, okay, IBM Cloud. These are the bigger companies who are renting it out. Who are the companies who are taking this? Like tier 1 companies like TCS, okay, and like Mindtree, okay, HCL, Infosys. These are the companies, and like tier 2 companies, tier 3 companies, startup. These are the companies who are renting out the services from these bigger companies, right? So what are the kinds of services they are renting it out? There are 3 major kinds of services that are renting it out. Service number 1, service number 2. First category of service is called infrastructure as a service, correct? In infrastructure as a service, we'll have storage, virtual machines, and a lot of things. Second kind of service is called as platform as a service. Okay, platforms, okay, for developing any kind of applications and all. Third kind of service is called software as a service. Okay, we'll be going all in whatever the theory we are discussing on the screen right now. All of these things will be going in detail once we enter into this line of Azure Fundamentals. Okay, in short, what is cloud computing? Renting out of IT services over the internet is called as cloud computing. Okay, renting out of IT services over the internet is called as cloud computing. Okay, so this is basic definitions. I think most of you knew it. Maybe like we are simplifying it more. So now let's see, as you know, right, Azure has 300 to 400 services. What are the different kinds of services Azure has to offer? Let's go into this in detail. As you can see, there are like AI plus machine learning, 22 services in it. Okay, analytic related services, 21 services, compute related services. This all the services you'll be learning in the part of Azure administration. That is level 2 of the training. Availability sets, compute fleet, okay, maybe at lab accounts, image templates, virtual machines, VMs, all of these things, app services, all of these things you'll be learning. Okay, in the computer, container related services, all Kubernetes, Docker, Azure Kubernetes services, container instances, container registries, okay, app configuration, service fabric manager, all of these things you'll be learning in clusters. Okay, database related service. This is not for you guys. This is for those working in Azure Data Engineer. Okay, for those working in Azure Data Engineer, Data Factory, Databricks, Synapse Analytics, and all. Okay, this is not for you guys, but just will give you an understanding about how this works. Okay, and DevOps related services. Yes, we'll be covering all of these services like Azure Deployment Management, like DevTest, GitHub, Azure load testing, projects on different API connections, right? Different API connections, because we can build the CI/CD pipeline. DevOps, we have to build it for any kind of application. It may be a .NET application, it may be a Java application, it may be a MERN stack application, any kind of application, right? So for all of this, any kind of application, how do you build this DevOps process? Completely, all of these things you'll be learning it. So then we'll be coming to general related services. Okay, so if you keep on scrolling, the list goes on and on and on. So totally, they are like 300 to 400 services. Among this, one major service is what we'll be focusing on is called as Azure DevOps. Okay, it is called as Azure DevOps Organization. Why it is called Azure DevOps Organization? Because all the services that is needed for you to build a DevOps process is completely brought into a single place, okay, in the name of Azure DevOps Organization. So now let's enter into the world of DevOps and let's try to understand, okay, what exactly DevOps and what, okay, how does the DevOps process look like on a higher scale? Okay, let's go in deep detail. For example, somebody, Balgovin, you have added a question. I'm new and I'm not aware about IT field, but want to start my career in IT sector and my current package is 12 LPA. Will that be possible? Yeah, how many years of experience you have? Yes, it's possible. Only thing is that, okay, you have to show at least 1 or 2 years of experience in this line of IT. You cannot say that I'm from a non-IT, I did the course from Coding Superstar, now give me a job for like 18 lakhs. No, that's not going to happen. So you have to show 2 years of experience in Azure DevOps. How to show that? Okay, and that you have to convert into 12 lakhs. Okay, you have to work on little bit projects, good amount of projects, because you'll be showing 12 lakhs, right? So what kind of projects to show and everything, if you, that is possible, purely possible. Okay, and if you follow the blueprint, there's a blueprint for like what candidate for what packages should work on what kind of packages. For example, there in the market right now in IT industry, there is a Java developer who is getting 4 lakh also, correct? There is a Java developer who is getting 40 lakh also. Can anybody tell what is the difference between a Java developer who is getting 4 lakh and who is getting 40 lakh? What is the difference?
Skill set and the projects.
Utilize the resources and experience.
Correct. In simple words, let's say 4 lakh might be a fresher. He might be only working on core Java. Correct. That is the reason he is paid. This 40 lakh guy will be working on lot of advanced services of Java, like Spring Boot, microservices, full stack development. Along with this, along with Java, he will be also working on front end React.js. He'll be working on NoSQL databases. He'll be knowing SQL. Okay, he knows how to connect on cloud. He knows how to do the. He knows little bit about DevOps tools also, right? So this guy is handling more advanced projects, complex projects. That is the reason he is paid 40 lakhs. But this guy is handling basic services, basic core Java. Similarly, in DevOps also, the beginner package is around like 8 to 12 lakh. But if you are really good with some like advice, if you're already experienced, then you can expect in the range of 15 to 45 lakhs. IT industry has a huge amount of budget. Right? They can even give you whatever the package you can ask for. Only thing is, can you bring the value? Okay, recently we have 2 companies. One is Coding Superstar. This is where completely we give you the training. Second one is Burn and Shine Private Limited. Okay, this is where we have got a team of 70 members. Recently, we signed one project from like Gujarat government. Remember, it's all about like one of the major banking this thing. Okay, the complete for 14 months, the project duration is 14 months. Okay, where end-to-end project development, everything will be doing it for them. Okay, so total billing, what we did it for like was for 4.5 CRs. Okay, out of 4.5 CRs, we have a team of around how many team members will be working? Close to 37 team members will be working on it. Okay, the complete salaries during this time will be okay. Complete the salaries during this time will be for all of them put together. It will be around like 2 CRs. So what is left for the company? 2.5 CR in margin. You understand? You understand how the companies think on a higher level. For somebody asking for if you are asking for 40 lakh package or like 35 lakh package, if you have the skills, okay, this is nothing for such kind of huge value. At the end of the day, you should be able to deliver good results. This kind of thing. Only that is the only thing. IT industries have budget. The question is, do you have that level of advanced project-oriented experience to offer? As simple as that. Sometimes candidates like even hesitate to ask if there are 8 lakh. If they're asking, even they hesitate to ask like 18 lakhs or like 20 lakhs. They feel like it is too much high. Now you should be confident enough to ask that. You can ask 18 to 20 lakhs only when you have good projects. You have worked on good projects. You cannot simply fake and ask like give me 20 lakhs. They will throw you away in no time. But you should be sensible enough to ask based on the project experience you have. So we'll even talk to you about like how to negotiate for higher CTCs, higher salaries and everything. Fine. Now let's get into the part of DevOps. So now we have got the clarity so far on like how you need to plan for your career. DevOps. What is the major responsibilities of a DevOps engineer? Anybody? What is the major responsibility? What is the role of DevOps engineer?
Automation.
Okay, what is the major responsibility? Yes.
Automation of building.
Yeah, automation. Yes. What else?
Quality of project and the speed.
Correct. Quality, speed. Yes. Okay. What else? What else, guys? Maybe I want others also to answer.
Deployment.
Development. No. DevOps engineer doesn't do the development.
Deployment.
Developers.
Deployment of.
Deployment. Yes. Deployment. Deployment is also not done by DevOps engineer. Deployment is done by build and release engineer.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Let's talk about it. Okay. I hope you got the clarity for major responsibility of a DevOps engineer. There are 3 major responsibilities of a DevOps engineer. Responsibility number 1 is to deliver a high quality application. Number 1, delivering a high quality application or a software. That is number 1 reason. What is the second? Okay, most important responsibility for DevOps engineer, delivering a high quality application in limited time. Just because you are delivering high quality, you cannot take like years together. You have to deliver in a very fast and furious manner. Third, delivering a high quality application in limited time by using limited cost or money. So these are the major responsibility of a DevOps engineer, delivering a high quality application in limited time by using limited cost. Okay, so how is this made possible? For that, let's take one real-time example of real-time application and try to understand. Okay, we'll take an example of Zomato. Why is Zomato so important? Because Zomato as an application, they deliver around 15 to 20 lakh food deliveries per day, not per month, per day. What does it mean? Even if the Zomato server goes down by 5 minutes, it has to face huge amount of loss, right? So at the end of the day, for Zomato, what is important for them? The very important thing for Zomato is to make sure that this guy who is using the Zomato application, who is this guy? This is nothing but customer who's using the Zomato application. He must have a great experience. This is the end goal of Zomato team. But how is that they're going to make this possible that the customer who is using the Zomato application is having a great experience? To make that possible, Zomato team takes help of 6 different teams in between. Let's try to understand what are these different teams. Team number 1, team number 2, team number 3, team number 4, team number 5, and team number 6. What are the responsibilities of different teams in between? Let's try to understand. Team number 1 completely deals with gathering the requirements, requirement gathering. It is called as requirement analysis team. Okay, and what is the pages required, what features are required, what payment pages, everything is discussed here. And who deals with this? This is dealt by somebody called as BA. Who is a BA?
Business analyst.
Yes, business analyst is the one who deals with requirement analysis. Okay, first that is done. Who comes next? We have to, after the requirements are gathered, we have to design the complete architecture of the application.
Developer.
No, before
Design
development,
architect.
we need design architecture. Who does this part? This is done by somebody called as an SA. Who is an SA? Solution architect. Okay, considering the cost. For example, there is a project. I told you one example. One project we finalized for 4.5 CR. Okay, these things and all, nobody will talk to you. Maybe I am talking to you so that, right, you understand like how the higher level management works. Okay, so maybe at what budget? Okay, 4.5 CR. In 4.5 CR, maybe it will understand what technology to be like, how many team members are required, how many front-end developers are required, how many back-end developers, everything will be designed. Okay, complete architecture. Okay, considering the cost. And once everything is designed, after that, we start what is called development. By developers. Once development is done, testing is done by testing team. Once the testing is done, what do we do now? We do the deployment. The process of making the application live over the internet is called deployment. Who does this part? This is done by BRE, Build and Release Engineer. Okay, once the application is already live over the internet. Now I want you guys to answer which team is required at phase number 6. Once the application is already live over the internet.
Support team to maintain the application.
Correct. As you said, we need maintenance team. Right? Who does it? For example, okay, you have installed the Zomato application, you have ordered the food, you have ordered some food, and all of a sudden there is no food delivery and there is no payment reflections on your app. Whom do you contact? If there is any, if you are not receiving food, you will contact the support team. Correct? Support team will be of different kinds. Application support, okay, production support, this support, that support. Okay, they'll be working on rotational shift, L1, L2, L3. Most of you guys are working on support. This is where you guys are working on. Okay, if I say 95% of all the job in IT industry are covered in this 6 step, am I right or wrong?
Right.
Right, everything in IT industry is covered in this screen right now. Correct? Directly or indirectly. So right now, okay, so this is how the structure of a simple project looks like. This process is called a software development lifecycle, SDLC. So now, even if the single team, now tell me what will happen even if the single team do not perform properly or underperforms or do not deliver the result properly, what will happen? Just imagine testing team did not perform well or designing team or like support team. What will happen?
They won't be
Everything
able
goes
to, they won't be able to build a reliable software.
Reliable software in the sense, in terms of Zomato, let's talk. That means Zomato, maybe it will have a very poor application and customer will have a very bad experience and customer will move to where? They will move to Swiggy. Correct.
Swiggy.
Simple. At the end of, if you are using some app, if it is not working, what will you do? You will will you show empathy? Okay, let's wait, let's give one more chance. Will you give one more chance to the company? No way. If you have one bad experience, gone. Right, you will be moving to. So that is the reason. Okay, they cannot risk of like even a single team not performing. Okay, not even a single minute mistakes cannot be tolerated. For that reason, what this Zomato team does is they will recruit an event manager. What does the event manager do? When you go to a marriage, what does the event manager do? Does he do any kind of a catering work? No. Does he do any kind of cleaning work? No. Does he do any kind of a videography, choreography work? No. Does he do the decoration work? No, he doesn't do any of this. But what is the main responsibility of an event manager? I want you guys to answer. What is the responsibility of an event manager?
To look over all the
Coordinate all.
Correct. To look after all the teams and make sure that each and every team is performing their responsibilities very well. And when all of the teams work together, then the whole of the marriage will be a super hit. Correct. Similarly, for us to manage so many teams, the event manager, okay, this event manager will be talking to all the teams. Team number 1, team number 2, team number 3, team number 4, team number 5. Okay, all these teams, okay, the event manager will be talking individually. And what will we do? We'll make sure that there is a good communication among all the teams. The communication is really good among all the teams. Second thing, each and every team is given good target. There's a proper target, proper practical target is given. And once the target is given, all the target is tracked, whether they are performing. Okay. And then at the end of the day, the results are being delivered. So all of these things is measured by this event manager. And this event manager is responsible for delivering high quality application in limited time, okay, by using limited cost. And who is this event manager? This guy is none other than, okay, this guy is none other than the DevOps engineer. Okay, this guy is none other than DevOps engineer. This is what your responsibility of a DevOps, your responsibility will be. All right. When you perform this complete DevOps process over the cloud like Azure, it is called as Azure DevOps. Okay. Now, if anybody asks, so does the DevOps engineer has future? There is a lot of development jobs, testing jobs, all other jobs are like going away because of artificial intelligence. There are a lot of layoffs happening. What is the future of DevOps? Now some other technology will come and take over. Never. Okay, DevOps job role, cloud DevOps job role will never be taken over by any kind of AI or any kind of software. This will be there. Okay, till the time there is internet, DevOps job roles will be there. And can you see the dependency? Developers can be replaced by AI, but DevOps engineer, no. There will be a lot of tools. There will be tools which will be using AI will be coming to the new tools will be coming, but DevOps engineer will never will be going out of fashion. So that is the reason he is getting huge amount of CTCs. Okay, because this if this guy is not working, if this guy is not because of you, all of the project is working properly. So how many DevOps engineers will a single team have depends on the scale of the project. Some teams will have 3 DevOps engineers, some will have like 10, some will have 20, depending on what company, what project you are working on. So now, okay, so this is how DevOps looks like. We have scribbled a lot on screen. Let's move on to the next screen. So now, how does a DevOps engineer build all of this things? How does he track, target everything? How does he do all of these things together? The answer is he does all of these things with the help of a pipeline called as CI/CD pipeline. The main work of DevOps engineer, how does he do all of this thing? Deliver a high quality application in limited time using limited cost. How does it do? Okay, with the help of something called as CI/CD pipeline. So this is a major project. Within this project, all the tools, all the work of DevOps engineer is covered. Now let's talk about what exactly is CI/CD pipeline. So meanwhile, if anybody has any kind of questions, you can put across, unmute yourself and ask. If anybody has any questions so far. Whatever kind of question it is, basic question, advanced question, whatever the question you have got, you can ask. There is no right or wrong question. You can ask anything and everything you have in your mind. Okay, I feel that maybe that the silence says that you guys are very clear what is discussed so far. Let's move on. So now let's try to understand what is CI/CD pipeline. So as you can see, let's revise what we discussed so far once and move forward. As you guys know, okay, here we have got a Zomato team. Here we have got a customer from Zomato team. With the customer, for Zomato team, he has to make sure that the customer is having a great experience. For that, we have got 6 teams. First team is done by requirement analysis. Okay, that is taken care by business analyst, architecture design, done by solution architect, development, then by developers, testing, then by testers, deployment, done by build and release engineer, then maintenance by support. And this is where you will be connecting with all the teams, and you are working as an event manager, as a DevOps engineer who will be maintaining, okay, and delivering a high quality application in limited time using limited cost. So now what exactly is CI/CD pipeline? Okay, that is built. For example, this is source, this is destination. The application must reach here, this customer, right? The pipeline that is built around the 6 teams to make sure that the application reaches at a very high quality in limited time by using limited cost is called as CI/CD pipeline. What exactly is CI? Okay, for that, let's take an example. Now, Zomato has a lot of features. Feature number 1 is developed by team number 1. Feature number 2 is developed by team number 2. Feature number 3 is developed by team number 3. Feature number 4 is developed by team number 4. Feature number 5 is developed by team number 5. Okay, so now all of these features, the process of integrating all the features in a single place is called as continuous integration. Who does this job? You will be doing this job. How will we be doing this? With the help of automation. Okay, we had discussed at the start. How are we doing automation? How would we do the automation of the CI/CD pipeline? Automation. How would you integrate all of them with the help of automation? How is automation done? With the help of scripting. What scripting do we use? We'll be using PowerShell scripting, YAML scripting, and sometimes even Python. Fine. So this is how you build a CI, continuous integration. Now let's try to understand what is CD, continuous deployment or continuous delivery. So now, once the application is ready, Zomato application is ready. Now we need to deploy to multiple servers. Server number 1, server number 2, server number 3, server number 4, and server number 5. So now, let me put across an interview question. Most asked interview questions. Whether you are a beginner or experienced, you will be asked this question to understand whether you understand DevOps or not. Okay, if you have just learned from YouTube and trying to attend interviews, then the interviewer will catch in 2 minutes, right? So now I want you guys to answer. Why is that? Okay, we don't use DevOps while deploying an application to a single server. Why do we only use DevOps? Okay, when we are deploying the application to multiple servers. Anybody would like to answer?
As you said that a single server we do not need automation. It will be waste of resources and money for deployment DevOps in a single server. No.
Server more you are close, but more solid answer. Can you try for more solid answer? You are close, yeah, but more solid answer can be expected. Fine, let's get into the answer. Okay, the major reason for the first of all, so just imagine that you are built an application. Okay, that's only 1,000 people are using. Okay, and just for the community, you are living in an apartment where like 1,000 people are using this, and for that, okay, for 1,000 people to use, you don't need not have to deploy the application to multiple servers, right? And you deploy it in a single server. And for such kind of a small scale application, DevOps is not even needed, right? DevOps process, when do we need an event manager? For example, if you are doing a small function with around 20-30 people at your home, do you need an event manager? Yes, no, right? When do we need an event manager? When you have a bigger function, like where there are more than like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people who are attending. Like you guys are only, you in your family, you are only like 5 to 10. How can 10 people manage all of this? That is when you need event manager, experts who are very much specialized in that. Okay, that's the main reason we only use DevOps process when we are deploying the application for multiple things. For Netflix, yes, we need DevOps. For like Zomato, we need DevOps, right? For smaller application, you are just you have a cricket team. Okay, maybe multiple tournament. You need an application for cricket tournament. Do you need DevOps for that? Not needed. Right? Hope you got the clarity. Hope you are getting the ground level reality of how DevOps works. So now, next level question: what is the major reasons for deploying the applications for multiple server? Why is that application is deployed in multiple server? For this also, there are like 3 major reasons.
For example, if you have we can take BookMyShow as an example. If the number of users increases, that may crash the server. To divide the number of users, they'll be having like more than one server in the backup. And
yeah. Right. So let's go in detail. Maybe right, whatever you answered is right. Let's try to understand, okay, how does practical work? Why are we deploying the application to multiple servers? Number one reason is for disaster recovery. What do you mean by disaster recovery? That means just imagine Zomato application is deployed in okay, one of the data center in Mumbai. What if there is a fire outage? What if there is a earthquake? Okay, recently there was an earthquake in Myanmar, right? Myanmar, Thailand, and all. What if we never know? Anything may happen. All of a sudden there is an earthquake. Everything is gone, right? That is the reason for you. And what if there is a tsunami? Because like Mumbai is nearby to the ocean. Any moment of time, anything can happen. To prevent against all of this natural calamities or disasters, we need to upload, okay, maybe deploy the application into multiple server, one in Delhi, one in like South India, or one outside India, so that there is a backup of the applications. First is disaster recovery. Second main reason why we need to deploy the application in multiple server is, I think few of you answered, that is for load balancing. What do you mean by load balancing? Right now, you guys are watching IPL. Just imagine that there's a match of CSK versus RCB. There are like 20 crore people watching. And this server number one has a capacity to only handle 10 CR of traffic. So then what happened? Like this server number one triggers the server number two, and the load is shifted to server number two. Okay. The rest of the 10 crore people will be watching. In no matter what, there will be no downtime. You will never face that, like no matter how many people, how many crores of people are watching, there will be no downtime at all. This is called as load balancing. That is the beauty of cloud computing. Okay. And the third very important reason is geographical reasons. For example, right now, just imagine that this is USA, United States of America, and this is where the Netflix headquarters is. Netflix has, there's a team who develops the Netflix here. So now here you are in India. How is that in India you are able to access Netflix? Because Netflix has deployed their application in multiple data centers in India, right? So whenever you are accessing, you'll be accessing to one of the data centers from India. This is the reason. Maybe similarly, this is India, right? Because Netflix is used only in India. No, it is used by 193 countries all across the globe. That means Netflix has deployed their applications in all the possible corners of the world, so that anybody using any language or any geographical area will be able to access. Okay, that is the reason. Geographical reason is like for deploying the application into multiple servers. Okay, thus you got no. Now coming back to what is CD. Now you got the reason why we deploy the application to multiple servers. So now, okay, well, when we are doing this, okay, the process of deploying the application to multiple server dynamically, okay, dynamically is called as continuous deployment or delivery. Who does this? This is done by DevOps engineer. How? With the help of automation. How do you automation? With the help of scripting, PowerShell, YAML, Python, and all of them. Okay, this complete process, okay, is built by you as a DevOps engineer, and we'll be using different tools in different phases. Okay, for version control, we'll be using Git. In Azure, we have got something called as Azure repository. What is version control? Do not worry, it's all about like code management. Okay, but we'll also talk about this in the actual classes. We'll not go in technical. Azure repository will use. Okay, we'll be using Terraform for Azure Terraform. Okay, what will be using for this infrastructure as a code? We'll be using this, and for for this continuous deployment, okay, we'll be using two more powerful tools, that is Kubernetes and Docker. Okay, can anybody tell what do you mean by Kubernetes? What is Kubernetes? I think right, you might have heard about Kubernetes 100 times in 100 different places. What is actually Kubernetes? What does it do?
It's a containerization application.
In simple words, let's not use hi-fi words. Let's use very basic words. So that right, even if you're talking to a 10-year-old boy, okay, you should also be able to understand this. What do you mean by Kubernetes? Why do we need? Okay, let's take an example. So that right, let's explain, let's talk in the such way you should never forget this kind of explanations. That is the main goal of this training, what we are trying to work on. See, you will get hundreds and thousands of videos in YouTube, but even after watching 100 videos, if you are not getting the clarity, there is no. The first thing, let's imagine that we are for this, for Zomato application, let's imagine that we are using MERN stack. What do you mean by MERN stack? It is using MongoDB as a database, Express.js, okay, React.js for the front end, okay, and Node.js in the backend. So now this is what we developed. So now this, okay, for this, for example, if you need to develop this, you need a setup. For MongoDB, you need a setup on your system. For Express.js, you need a setup. For React.js, you need a setup. And for Node.js, you need a setup. So now, whenever we are deploying this application, we are deploying in, as we told, a multiple server number 1, server number 2, server number 3, server number 4, and all. So now building this setup for every server is too much difficult. Correct? Right or wrong? That is when Docker comes into picture. What does Docker do? Docker, what does it do? Whatever the setup is needed for MERN stack, okay, it will be, okay, creating a setup for MERN stack. It is packaging. It is like a package boxing. Whatever the setup, installation setup is needed for configuring this MERN stack, everything is Docker number 1, doc1 for MERN stack. Similarly, it will be creating multiple Dockers for multiple things. And this Dockers, okay, this docs will be deployed to multiple servers. And the management of this, okay, when should we need a bigger Docker? When should we need a smaller Docker? All of these things is done with the help of Kubernetes. Kubernetes is the manager of all of these Dockers. When to package, where to load, what not to load is done with the help of Kubernetes. Okay, so containerization. What do you mean by container? These are the containers. For example, if you have watched different movies and all, right? Maybe recently you might have watched Pushpa and all. What do you guys see that? A ship is loaded with containers, right? Each and every container will have a Docker, okay, MERN stack installations, and this will be deployed to different ones from here. Just imagine that from India it is sent to Japan. Okay, in Japan it is again dispersed into multiple regions. Right? Who is the manager of this complete ship? Who manages where should it go, where should not it go? That is done by Kubernetes. In very simple words. Right? This is what we will also learn about Docker and Kubernetes in detail. Okay, this is repeatedly asked. In Azure, we have got more prominent service of this. Okay, that is called as AKS, Azure Kubernetes service. And how do you do all of these things? We'll be learning in detail. Okay, I hope you got the clarity about like what Docker and Kubernetes it is. Maybe just type in S in the chat box if you're getting the clarity. If you have any questions, you can put up. If you get the clarity, just type in S in the chat box. Okay, you can type in publicly. Okay, do not type in private. Fine then. Maybe we'll move on now to next level. Now you got the clarity. So now the final level of discussion is how do you build, okay, this complete process over the Azure DevOps. Once finish this, then we'll open the discussion for your any final questions. Okay, fine. So how does DevOps? Okay, so okay, fine. This is how the Azure DevOps portal looks like. So how to get to this point, like all the in the labs will be discussing about it. And it's like one final thing we'll be discussing. How do you do this complete DevOps process in the Azure DevOps portal? I will quickly talk about it in just 2 minutes because like later moment of time we'll get into it because there's a lot of things. And also one more thing, we are going too fast in this demo because a lot of things to cover. But in actual classes, we'll be going in a systematic way, very slow and steady way. So that right, you do not miss on anything. In a practical way, we do a lot of practice and all we'll be doing systematically. So what are the processes we need for DevOps? First thing is planning. Second phase is like development. Then comes testing. Then comes UAT, user acceptance test. Then comes operations. Then comes monitoring. So all the planning activities is done here with the help of Azure boards. All the development activities is done with the help of Azure repository. All the testing activities is done with the help of Azure test plans. Okay, and once this is done, we do all of this UAT. What do you mean by UAT? Once the testing is done, we will not be deploying the application to all the 100 crore people. We'll be testing it for, again, doing the testing for real-time testing with 1,000 or 2,000 people. Once this is done, we'll be moving on to operations. Then it comes to monitoring. And then again, in the monitoring, if there is any bug or error, again, it will be sent back to planning team. So this wise, this complete process, it's on repeating. This is how the DevOps looks like. So all of it, right? Okay, we'll be doing in actual classes, everything, all of these things, how to manage it, how to manage the Azure boards, how to manage the repository, how to manage the pipelines, how to run the test plan, how to run the artifacts, everything we'll be discussing later. So this is, I have explained, very 2 minutes, but working on this portal itself will take 2.5 months. There are a lot of things, okay, to work on this. Okay, just think for now, just understand, complete DevOps process, whatever we discuss, you'll be executing in this single portal. Okay, so this is how it will be. But before getting into this DevOps, okay, now before getting into DevOps, you will be doing all of this. You have to first master this fundamentals and admin, and then you'll be getting into DevOps and Terraform, and then finally into solution architect. As I told you, first, these two things will be taking you, fundamental and admin will take you 1.5 to 2 months. Okay, this will take you around like 2.5 months. This will take you around like 2.5 months. Everything put together 5 to 6 months. If you start now, I can tell you that you can attend the interviews in the month of June. Okay, this is how it goes. Okay, and what batches? Okay, classes will be starting from Monday. If you are looking for morning batch, 8 to 9:30 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you are looking for evening batch, 9 to 10:30 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I can see in this batch, most of you have enrolled. For those who have not enrolled, just connect with the team and register yourself for Monday's class. And once you register, just there will be few intro class that will be shared for you. Okay, and you will be mentored by senior DevOps architects. Okay, who are already working on top-notch MNCs in a very systematic way. This is how the classes will be 3 days in a week, and in the middle, in the other alternate days where there is no class, you have to practice, do a lot of practice, assignments, projects, and all in between. Okay, and finally, with respect to placements thing, there are last month itself approximately 49 participants, 49 to 51 of them have got placed from the previous batches. Okay, in different companies. Okay, maybe if you want to talk to any of this, just connect with the team. They will even share you the phone numbers of them. You can talk to them and understand how did they get placed and everything. Okay, and along with this thing, you'll be receiving all the practical project-based questions and everything, question banks and everything you'll be receiving. Okay. So now you guys have any kind of questions you can put across. Anybody has any kind of questions?
Nothing for now. It's very good interactive class, and
okay, I hope you got the clarity. So anybody would like to, maybe Gunachandra is not understanding about Docker and Kubernetes. Can anybody would like to explain it in a simple words what we talked? Docker and Kubernetes.
Docker is nothing but the containerization, like build all the software in the particular package in the system, the server.
Gunachandra, what is your background, by the way? Gunachandra?
Yeah, I'm from IT support engineer. Like
IT support. Fine.
Yeah,
fine. Let me talk about like Docker and Kubernetes once again. Okay. Let's imagine this Zomato application is built over MERN stack. You know what is MERN stack? MERN stack in the sense, for example, any application will need a database. Okay, in MERN stack, we need MongoDB. Okay, is a NoSQL, Express.js for connectivity, React.js for front-end, Node.js for backend. Okay, so now this application will be deployed. As you know, Zomato application will be used in all across India, right?
Okay.
Okay, you need to deploy the application in multiple data centers, like server number 1, server number 2, server number 1 in Delhi, server number 2 in like Chennai, server number 3 in Hyderabad, server number 4 in Bangalore. Okay, you need to deploy the application somewhere. When you deploy the application, for whatever, for you to work on this, for you to deploy this, for whatever the setup is needed for this MERN stack, we need a lot of setup, right? For example, if you want to you need to have a lot of installations and configuration for this to run the application, correct?
Yes.
All right, this setup is really difficult to manage directly, right? It's a headache, correct? So what
Yes.
happened, right? There is something called as Docker. What Docker does, right? It will create a package of this MERN stack.
Okay.
It will create multiple packages. Okay. Some will be small packages depending on like what it is. Like multiple packages in it. Docker 1, Docker 2, Docker 3. Okay. So these packages will be deployed to multiple servers. Getting the point?
Yeah.
And the process of like which Docker should need what, that is done with the help of Kubernetes. Kubernetes is like a manager of this. Got the clarity, Gunasindra?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, if you understand basic level, that's more than sufficient. When we get into actual classes, we'll go in more detail. I'm explaining in a very basic things. Okay, there
What
are
is what is E actually? M for MongoDB.
E is ExpressJS.
Express days.
ExpressJS. See, that is, I'm just taking an example of one of the application. That is none of your business at all. That is for developer's job, right? I'm just taking one example.
Okay.
Okay, MERN stack in the sense MongoDB, ExpressJS, React.js, Node.js, packaging, right?
Okay.
For example, so if you want to go live in different home, maybe for example, if you want to live in now you are living in Bangalore. If you want to go to this thing, Mumbai also, right? Again, you need the same furniture, setup, kitchen, and everything. You need it, correct? Before start living, you need the setup. That setting up for instead of you doing the setup by yourself, okay, that is done by Docker, ready-made. So that right, you start go and live in that flat ready-made. Got it? So fine, we'll discuss about this in a very detailed way once we get exactly into this. Do not worry about this. We'll go even more detail in this. We'll understand each and every basis because when you attend the interview, the more simplified answers you give, that means that the more you know about this subject of DevOps. The more superficial, like some textbook answers or internet answers you give, they will understand this guy is just telling from the internet some like some XYZ reading and telling. That will understand, right? You should be able to explain in whatever the way they are. Correct. That is only you can explain to that extent only when you know the subject to depth, not just upper say. Okay. Fine. So now let's see some of the interview questions. Okay, on the internet. Okay, and see. Okay, what kind of job requirements are being posted? We'll see some top companies. Okay, I think somebody has raised your hand, Vishal. Yeah, you can ask your question.
Hello.
Yeah,
I'm
Vishal.
audible.
Yeah, Chandrasekhar. So should we have knowledge on SQL, Python, and PySpark? So Chandrasekhar, that is required for data engineering program. Now we are talking about DevOps program, right?
Hello.
For this, we don't need any of these things. Chandrasekhar, got the clarity? Okay, so something is like Ramtek, fee structure and all, just connect with the team. They will help you out. Okay. Yeah, Vishal, go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. As earlier you told, like we need a scripting. For that we're using the Python and other scripting. So, is it need a deep scripting knowledge? Like I'm belonging from the technical background. Like I'm an IT developer. But my I mean the backend we are using the C# language. So
Okay, fine. Not to worry on that part. I got it. Maybe that you are thinking not only your question, most of you will have the question. So like we should have a deep knowledge on scripting or what, correct?
Yeah.
So right now, can you tell me, okay, what right now in Indian IT industry, what India, so let's consider about India, okay, what percentage of code is written by AI or with the help of AI tools, and what percentage of code is written by developers? Can you tell me random number? Can you guess right now
Yeah.
in 2025?
Not from other, just from my side. I mean, as per my opinion, we mostly, I mean, where we mostly use the AI tools.
Correct. Approximately, give me a rough number. What percentage of code is written with the help of AI?
Yeah, we can say 70%.
Correct, right? 75%.
Yeah.
Okay. 70% of the code is written with the help of AI, and only 30% of the code is being written by developers. What does it mean? All the developer jobs are reducing. Right? Previously, if you needed 100 Java developers, now you will be recruiting only 10. Correct?
Correct.
And this 10 Java developers will be using this AI. And this AI tools, what Indian developers are using, these are by the help of very old models, right? AI models, which was released 2 years back. Right now, there is very powerful, okay, AI models that are released. Have you heard about O3 model by OpenAI? That is not even released to the public. If this comes, okay, AI percentage will go to like close to 95% less, and the developer's job will be less than 5%. Okay, so now let me ask you one more question. Which is the most powerful programming language? This is a very trick question. Which is the most powerful programming language, okay, from now 2025 and going forward?
Python.
Yeah, it's a
Okay, which is the more powerful programming language?
Python.
Python. And what other answers do we have?
Java.
Java. What other answers do we have?
Python.
Okay, the answer what am I about to give? I think you will be hearing this answer for the very first time, and this is what the answers will be in going future. Okay, the answer for is the most powerful, okay, language for programming from right now is English. What do I mean by that?
Because we can directly input our requirement in the AI and they can develop our code.
Right
through
now,
English language.
if you consider in AI, you are giving prompts. Whatever the language, in English language, you are giving prompt, correct? With the help of prompt, you are getting ready-made thing. Okay, so this is where the world is heading towards. So you need not worry about how to write the scripting, how to write this thing and all. Everything will be, you should be worried about logics. You need to bring the logic. Okay, if you have the logic, how to implement the logic is, for that you need not have to worry about like programming language, this scripting, that scripting. Everything is very simple and easy. Okay, with the help of AI. When AI is there, we'll be making more productive work. Right, you'll be able to do more of a common sense work. Previously, okay, before calculator, okay, before there was calculator, okay, calculation was too hard, correct? After the calculator came, do you do the calculation with the help of your mind, like some a complex calculation? Do you do with the help of your mind or with the help of the tool? How do you do? You will do with the help of tool. Similarly, when AI has come, when programming is not even needed now, when AI has come, why do we even need programming? Why should you even learn programming, any kind of thing? Right? Directly, because AI is able to do when calculations, everything you are doing on a calculator. Similarly, when AI can do the programming, why do you even need to learn programming? This is not me saying, this is getting said by maybe top companies of the world. For example, do you know this company called NVIDIA?
Yes.
Okay, NVIDIA is one of the largest chip making organization in the world. As you can see, NVIDIA is here. What is saying? AI might make traditional coding skills less essential, and it will be not even needed in the future. Okay, so only thing is that you should be smart. You should know the logics. Rest everything can be handled. Okay, if you know the logic, how to implement this logic, everything can be done very easily. Okay, so let's see some of the job requirements. And anybody has any more questions, you can put across. Okay, so let's see this. Okay, some entity data. Okay, they have a requirement for senior cloud DevOps administrator. Let's see what job requirement what is that they are expecting. So what is that they are expecting? Take ownership of the project and work responsibility in a learning environment. Let's say that infrastructure as a code. How do we do infrastructure as a code? This is what we do with the help of Terraform. Yes, well, we have covered that. Okay, knowledge on principle, role-based access control. All of this access control and all. Where do we learn this? This will learn in Azure Active Directory. Okay, modern security and all. Network. This you're learning Azure administration level 2, and working knowledge on Git. It will talk about, yes, we'll Git and version control systems. Yes, we'll be working on this. The ability to configure CI/CD pipelines. Did we talk about this? Yes. Azure DevOps and infrastructure as a code, ISC. That is again using Terraform. Are we talking about that? Yes, again. Azure networking services. Okay, so this job role is very easy. You can clear it in very easily. In a single round itself, you can break convincingly. Like they have got knowledge of infrastructure code, familiarly with programming. They are using, what is that you are using? We talk about PowerShell. They are using Python. Okay, they are using PowerShell. They are using Bash scripting. Okay, all of these things is covered. Okay, So got the requirements. So complete job descriptions, what we read right now, everything is super easy. Easy when we work on the right projects. If you don't know this, it will seem difficult. Getting the clarity how the jobs will be. Guys, yes, no. Okay, fine. So this is one of the job requirement. Maybe let's go to, maybe let's see, as you can see, there is one more requirement, Azure DevOps Engineer plus Terraform plus Kubernetes. Terraform and Kubernetes are most asked interview questions. As you can see, job description, working with team and stories, and let's go a little bit CI/CD, managing CI/CD pipeline, CI/CD script writing. Okay, see again scripting here. Okay, knowledge on Terraform. Okay, Azure Kubernetes services, Ansible, Helm charts. Fine. Again, this is done. Okay, we talked about SRE. This is like higher responsibility data. SRE. This is here. Azure Cloud Developer Engineer. Likewise, there are like huge number of requirements. Any requirement will be able to. I can tell you that after this program, at least you will be able to attend 95% of the requirement for Azure DevOps. Not only in India, anywhere in the world. Okay, and finally, for when you finish this complete trainings and everything, will be handing over a most asked interview questions document. Okay, I will show you the document, which you will be able to answer all of these questions. If you are able to answer all of these questions, then you can attend any interviews for Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps. Let me show this. So the scenario-based questions will be. Okay. So can anybody read this scenario question number 1? Yeah. So anybody, you guys can unmute yourself and read. Any one of you.
Yes. Scenario number 1, you are tasked with automating the deployment of an applications to multiple environments, dev, QA, and production.
Yeah. Okay. Then what is the question?
How would you design the CI/CD pipeline using Azure DevOps? How
Right.
would you ensure that deployment to productions is error-free?
Yeah.
What strategies would you use to handle environment-specific configurations?
Okay. So this is how, okay, the questions will be. Nobody will ask you like ABCD level questions. Everything, all the questions will be in this standard scenario-based questions. Okay. So like we talked about infrastructure as a code, that is using Terraform. How will the question be? You need to provision and manage Azure resources using infrastructure as a code. What tools would you use and why? Yeah, the answer is Terraform, and why you need to explain. How would you integrate IAC to Azure DevOps pipeline? Okay. The next, source code management. Okay. Or multiple developers are working on the same feature branch, and conflicts frequently occur during the merge. How would you manage all of it? Okay, so this is how the scenario based questions will be. There are a lot of scenario based questions. This is how will be. There is a lot of questions on migrations also. You need to like your application is in like Jenkins. How do you migrate on Jenkins to Azure DevOps? Okay. Disaster recovery, there will be interview questions on even that also. You'll be able to answer by the end of this training. Okay. Got the clarity, guys? Any other questions? Anybody? Finally, before we close. Okay. And also, if anybody has any kind of questions, maybe you can even WhatsApp after the session. I am just writing my number on the chat box: 9933 9900 136 885, and my name is. Yeah, I have just added my number. If you have any kind of queries, you can save it. Okay, maybe you can WhatsApp. However, my team will be connecting with you and helping you with the further distance. Okay, any final questions? In short, everything will be all you will be able to clear interviews. There will be complete hand-holding support till you get placed. Only thing is that you should practice on a daily basis. Not attending the classes and all, missing the classes, not being regular. That is the least we can expect from you. Okay. Any final questions, guys? Maybe for those who are on non-IT, let me show you some of the non-IT participants who have, maybe most of you will have doubt whether a non-IT person can get into it. And as you can see, non-IT, okay, this particular lady was working as on BPO semi-tech support role for 4 LPA. From 4 LPA, she shifted to 12 lakh. Okay, where is she working right now? She's working in Capgemini. As you can see, number is clearly visible, and even she's working on Capgemini Whitefield. Cap Whitefield is in Bangalore. Okay, likewise. Okay, this particular guy, okay, he has cleared AZ 400. Okay, so in a single attempt today, Awais Khan. Okay, so thank you for your help and guidance for preparing for this. Even the number is clearly visible, and there are even participants from Canada, US, and all. We even guide them. So this guy was from this Canada who cleared this certification. He was from non-IT. Was like, thank you, great. It might be great for them, but this is very basic. If you follow some routine discipline, if you have discipline on a daily basis, practicing and all, clearing the certification, getting job is not a big deal. The requirement is very huge in the market. Okay. Fine, guys. Any final questions before we close? Last 1 minute before we close. And
No,
also,
thank you.
okay, so we talked about why are we choosing Azure. As you can see, the market of Azure, how it's booming here. It's booming to the next level. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Connect with the team. Okay, they will help you with all the further details and further process. Monday morning 8 to 9:30 a.m. Evening will be 9 to 10:30. Just enroll. Try to enroll before like 11 or 12. Okay, tomorrow morning, so that you get some materials to go through before attending Monday. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great time.
Sure, Abhishek. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.